Thank you so much for choosing my stress management workshop. My name is Jennifer, and I am a yoga therapist and a lifestyle mentor. And I'm also someone who's gone through quite intense amounts of stress in my life and quite intense amounts of anxiety in my life. And I chose the path of yoga to help me through challenging times, and I'm now using that as a therapeutic tool to help other people in their life deal with stress, anxiety, and any other challenges. And I also help them to just make important changes so that they're living a life that fits what they wish for. Um, so the first thing I want you to do is I'm going to ask you in a couple of seconds to put this video on pause. I want you to go get a pen and paper, a little notepad. If you have a journal, grab your journal. If you want to make yourself some tea or a coffee, whatever floats your boat, light up a candle and really just set up a nice environment for you to feel comfortable and ready to absorb this information. So you can pause now and go get ready, and I'll wait for you right here. Okay, welcome back. All right, so today what I want to leave you with is a clear understanding of how your body works, a clear understanding of what stress is, and some concrete tools for you to leave with so that you can feel more empowered in your life and so that you feel that you can really deal with the stress that you're going through right now. So the first thing we're going to look at is the difference between stress and a stressor. Okay, so there's really a clear difference between both. Stress is the way we react to or the way we live certain things that are happening in our life. So the way we deal with, what's happening at work, or the way we deal with the way someone speaks to us, or all of those things. So stress really starts from us. A stressor is something that is concretely creating a stress on our system. For example, if I break my arm, that's a stressor. No matter who you are or how you deal with stress, it's going to be a stress on your system. It's going to hurt and it's not going to be very enjoyable. Okay? So see stress as being something that you have more choice of how to deal with, and a stressor, part of it you really don't have much choice because it's a stress on your system whether you want it to be or not. Okay? So this is the first part, and maybe you can just make a list in your little journal or on your piece of paper. Make 2 columns, stress and stressor. And as we go through the workshop, when you start to think about things in your life that are happening, you can put them in the right category to see which things you might have a little bit more control over and which things you don't. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now we're going to go into our nervous system so that you understand a little bit more how your body works. So everyone has a nervous system, and you can imagine it like a nice little electrical field going up your spine, branches. So the nervous system runs up your spine, and you have all these little branches stemming out into your body, and your nervous system sends signals to your body to tell it what to do, how to react, to be stressed or calm, to be in survival mode or in relaxed mode. And what manages the nervous system is our breathing. Okay, so there are 2 parts to our nervous system. There is the sympathetic nervous system, which is our stress response. Okay, so you can write this down if you want. And there is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our relaxation response. And we need both to be strong and active, but they each really have a specific role. So it's important for each one to be functioning at the right time. So I'm going to give you a really typical concrete example of how each one kicks in at the right moment. So imagine that you're walking in the woods and you meet a bear. So in that moment when you meet the bear, your stress response, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in to help you run really fast, defend yourself against the bear, or find a really quick solution. So you're going into defense mode, okay? You're going into survival mode. What happens when you go into survival mode is all of your circulation goes to your limbs, arms, legs, hands, and feet to help you run, fight, or do something really quick. So you lose all of the circulation, or a lot of the circulation in your organs, where you need all that circulation to have optimal health. Now, once the bear is gone and it's not there anymore, your parasympathetic nervous system is supposed to kick in to help you come back to that relaxation response. So to help your whole physiological system, your circulation, your heartbeat, your mind, everything to just slow down, find that inner calm, and circulation comes back to normal. And this is where you can have a clearer view of what's actually happening, and your whole health comes back to a more optimal state, if that makes sense. So meeting a bear in the woods is a very concrete example, and that's not really something that happens to us today in our life very much anymore. But what happens today is that most of our stresses are things that we're stressing about that are going to happen in the future. For example, today I'm sitting, let's say, at my center, Espace Zen in Montreal. No one's here. It's very calm, very relaxing. But even though my environment is relaxing around me and there's no physical stress around me right now, there's no bear in front of me, or there's nothing that's telling me that I need to be in my defense mode. If I'm thinking about, a bill that's going to go through my account next week, or a meeting that I have, in a couple of days with someone who's really intimidates me, or if I'm thinking about something that's going to stress me possibly in the future, my nervous system is going into the stress response. So we really need to bring ourselves constantly back to the present moment so that we remind ourselves, okay, right now, right here in front of me, everything is fine. Everything is okay. I'm breathing. I'm not in danger. So you need to come back to that present moment so you can de-dramatize those stresses actually, that are coming in the future that, might be bothering you. So coming back to the present moment is essential. And I'm going to give you now a little bit of my personal thoughts on stress. So not a stressor, but stress. When you think about stress, it's really hard to determine what is stressful and what is not. Because for me, maybe being stuck in traffic can be really stressful, but for someone else, it might be some self-care time or some time to just relax and decompress from the day. So I'm going to say this very carefully, and every time I say this in my workshops, I'm always scared that people are going to throw stuff at me because it's a little bit frustrating to hear at the beginning, but once you assimilate the information, you start to understand the benefit of having this perspective. So stress is a choice. Okay, a stressor is not a choice. Stress is a choice. So what becomes your stress is the way you react to whatever is happening. So for example, if you're at work and your boss keeps piling up to-dos and piling up to-dos and piling up to-dos and piling up to-dos, I'm sure you can all relate to this. What's happening, your boss giving you these new things to do and piling up your to-do list, is not necessarily concretely stressful, but the way in which you react to that becomes stressful or not. So you could choose to take those to-dos and one at a time and sort them in categories. This one is urgent, this one is a priority, this one can be done a little bit later, and this one can really wait, until I have time to do it. And if you start taking control of the situation and plugging those in, for example, into a calendar, setting your limits, determining your needs, the situation can be quite in control, and you can feel quite calm even though your boss is piling all these things, on your to-do list. On the other hand, if every time your boss gives you something new on your to-do list, and every time that happens, you go into panic mode and you don't take control of what's happening. You don't take control of the situation. And you start thinking about, oh my God, imagine tomorrow what my schedule's going to look like. And oh my God, I'm never going to get to the end of the to-do list. And oh my God, my boss is not going to be satisfied. And oh my God, it just never ends. So that situation, you're choosing to not take control of what's happening and to not set your limits and your boundaries. So that situation will become stressful. Now, I know all of this work is not easy to do, but if you break it down into baby steps and just practice on a daily basis, doing little things to help you choose whether you're going to be stressed or not with what life is throwing at you, you're going to feel so much more empowered in your life, and you're going to start to notice that you're not going to let other people or other situations or environments determine if you're going to be stressed or not. You determine if you're going to be stressed or not. And again, if you're looking at everything in your life right now and trying to deal with everything at the same time, it's going to feel like you have to, walk up Mount Everest. So you got to break it down into small increments. So if you have a timeline that's this long, okay, and you're here and you want to get to here, write down what your starting point is, write down where your ending point is, and break it down into really small, realistic objectives that you can reach. Okay, so you're not feeling overwhelmed. Now I'm going to give you the ABCs of stress management. Okay, so the A is accept. Accept what life is throwing at you. Accept how other people are, approaching you. The more we resist what's coming to us in life, the more we're stressed. Resistance causes stress, and resistance causes the nervous system to be in a sympathetic response. Okay? So whatever comes to you, first step, just accept it. Okay? Let it be what it is. Second, B, breathe. Okay? Before you go into any kind of action, accept whatever is coming to you. Breathe so you can take time to observe the situation before reacting. So remember, it's our reaction that actually causes the stress. So if you take a moment before acting or before reacting to whatever is coming to you, the to-do list, someone who maybe spoke to you in a very rude way, the lineup at the bank, whatever it is, if you take a moment to take 3 breaths and just observe the situation, you will have time to choose to stress over what's happening or to stay calm over what's happening. Every time you choose to stress over what's happening, you imagine your body like a tank of gas, okay? And if there's a hole in your gas tank, you're leaking gas. Every time you choose to react to something in a stressful manner, you're leaking, you're leaking, you're leaking. So you're leaking out all of that energy that you could be keeping for yourself, for self-care, to feel more energized in the morning, whatever it is. You're leaving all of that energy out every time you react to stress. Okay? And if you choose to breathe, observe, and choose to stay calm, because you know what? The lineup at the bank, there's really nothing you can do about it. You can choose to leave or you can choose to stay in line. And then you keep all that energy in for yourself and you're filling up your gas tank with more energy for you rather than giving it away to someone else. And the C is consciously make a choice. Consciously choose. Okay? If you remind yourself every time you are in a stressful situation that you have the choice to be stressed or not, you will become so empowered in your life that you won't feel like everything around you is out of control, because everything stems from us. Sometimes we think that it's, the people in our lives and the environment that we work in and all of these things that are causing us to be so miserable. But first, if we come and center on ourselves and see what we can do to maybe live that situation in a less stressful way, start from there. And once you get to the point where you feel like, you know what, I've really done everything I can to take care of myself. I've done everything I can to set my limits. I've done everything I can to stay calm in the situation, and still I'm not feeling satisfied with my life. Then it's time to see if maybe you need to make some choices. Maybe that job is not ideal for, what your needs and your desires. Maybe that person in your life is not having a purpose for you, or not bringing positive into your life. So then you can start to choose. But first, always come back to yourself to see what you can do to enhance whatever's happening in your life. Because the more we're in control, the more we are empowering ourselves, the more we're building confidence inside that, and the easier it is to find that inner calm. So, that inner calm space, and here I'm going to give you another theory, is what we call in yoga and yoga therapy, the eye of the tornado. So right in the center, and this is true, this is real, right in the center of a tornado, there is one calm space in the center. Even though all of that stuff is happening on the outside, that huge tornado, in the center there is one calm space. Imagine it like a bubble. And you have that calm space inside of you, okay? So in your abdominal region, okay, so down in your tummy, imagine that like the eye of your tornado. That's your calm space. And this is what we're trying to cultivate when we're talking about stress management, is you want to be able to come back to that calm space whenever you can. Okay, so if we come back to the ABC, the way you can find that calm space is accepting what's coming at you, breathing so you can observe, and while you're breathing so you can observe, then you can make a conscious choice to stay centered, calm, and grounded, rather than moving into a reactive state. Okay, so every time you get into a stressful pattern, bring yourself back to that image, the eye of the tornado. I have that space inside of me. I just need to come back to myself, center myself, so that I can connect back to that calm space. Okay? So, what I want us to do before we end this workshop is I really want to leave you with one concrete tool, because stress management is so simple. It's really, really basic. And I don't want you to leave here with a million tools. I want you to leave with one tool, and that's your breath. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to just sit back and lean up against your chair, your couch, wherever you're sitting. And I want you to bring both hands onto your belly, and I want you to close your eyes. And just slowly start to deepen your breathing, taking fuller inhales, longer exhales. And start to direct your breathing into your belly. And this is what we call the abdominal breathing. So I want you to inhale, inflate your belly like a balloon. So inflate where your hands are. And exhale to deflate. And as you continue to breathe into your belly, I want you to start to slow down your breathing. So we're doing two things right now. We're breathing only into our belly, so keeping everything below the ribcage. And we're slowing down the rhythm of our breathing. And what that does for your nervous system is that it activates profoundly your relaxation response, your parasympathetic nervous system, so that you can come back to the eye of the tornado, to that calm space inside. And you can do this anytime during the day. I'm going to take a couple more breaths. At the end of your next exhale, just come back to natural breathing. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. Good. Okay, so I want you to remember that your breath is your biggest asset. It is your most important basic tool in life. Our breathing is what keeps us alive. And if you think about it, the one thing that we cannot live without is our breath. So there's something really powerful about it. And if you just begin to practice conscious breathing on a more regular basis, you're going to connect to that inner calm more often. So yes, when you're encountering a situation where you know that you could react in a stressful manner, A, accept, B, breathe so you can observe, and C, choose consciously. But if you really want to train your nervous system so you can keep that inner calm on a more regular basis, on a long-term basis, take breaks during your day more often. You know, between phone calls, take like a minute, just take a breath or two. Um, find a way so that you're not always in action, but you're balancing action and passive moments. So you're balancing doing and non-doing. And the more we create space in our life, the more you're going to create space in your mind between your thoughts, the more you're going to create space in your body, so there'll be less tension, and the more you're going to feel calm and satisfied with your life. So I really hope that this workshop has helped you just to create a nice solid foundation so you can simply enjoy your life a little bit more. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions if you have. So you can visit my website at www.jenniferjane.ca and just stay connected to my newsletters and my blog posts. And if you would like to have my secret formula to long-term joy, sign up to my newsletter and you will get that via email as well. So I wish for you to have a calm, joyful, and relaxing day and a calm, joyful, and relaxing life. So enjoy the rest of your day.